Today, we're going to be going over website and app settings that are under the consumer applet in Command. This is probably just going to take us about 30 minutes. So hopefully I can give you some time back in your day at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started here. Okay, so I am once again in Command. Agent.kw.com is where you're going to log in. And we are going to be looking in the very last applet, consumer, again at your website and app settings. So I'm not going to go over everything that's in this section. So we have agent site pages, landing pages, guide builder, and this is still in beta. So you guys will have that hopefully sometime soon. But yeah, we're just going to be going over the site and app settings today. So the first thing that you probably should know is this little toggle at the top. Use my information to brand my agent site. This is actually to sync your marketing profile with your KW site. So that's going to use your headshot and all the other information that's located here in this settings section. And in case some of you are getting tab anxiety, let me just move this to a new window. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to connect settings and marketing profile. So here's that toggle again, use my information to brand my agent site. What it doesn't tell you here is if you don't have that toggle on, it could actually just not sync any of your branding over to your site, and it might just show the general kw.com. So you want to make sure this is turned on to get any of your branding to show up. Okay, I'm gonna go back to consumer here and to site and app settings in the top right corner. Okay, so at this point, you've all been onboarded, or at least probably most of you. If you are brand new, just joined us, you know, Scott Leroy Marketing does that tech setup for you when you very first join. One of the things that his team does for us is set up your agent website. So this should already be set up for you. This toggle should already be turned on for you. I'm going to go ahead and mute. Okay, here we go. So you should have some basic info already in here. You should also have at least 3 pages under agent site pages. So that means your setup has been done, and then you can see your URL here. Under site and app settings, you're going to see on the top right, this Learn More with Kelly guides, agent site options. This is to take you through the process that Scott Leroy has already completed for you. So you don't need to do that. He's already, again, created an About Me page for you, Contact Me, and then an About the Company page. So you can just, you know, add additional agent site pages if you want. So here in the General Settings tab, we see Agent Site Hero text. Type in the text that you wish to have appear over your hero image on your agent site. What is that? So I'm actually going to demonstrate here on my site and show you where this shows up. All right, so it actually is going to show up over the image, but over that search box. So this is my homepage hero text. It just says search for homes. And notice here, it just says search for homes. You can make this say whatever you wish. So find your dream home, you know, whatever you want, you can replace this text. And then behind that image, notice that the photos are switching. And I have changed some of the stock photos. So it won't allow me to upload more. This is grayed out because I already have 5. You can have a maximum of 5. and you can delete and upload a new one if you want to change any of those out. Keep in mind, as you see on my screen, all of them are wider shots. I did that on purpose because if I didn't do wider shots, it would just have stretched the image and it would have come out grainy. So you want to be using wider shots so it fits well with the way the web page works. And it actually gives you a recommended size. This size is actually a square. So you don't have to have it 1200 by 1200, but I would at least have it be 1200 pixels wide. And only supported files are JPG or PNG. Those are typical image files. If you want to know where to get images, one place you can go for free stock photos is unsplash.com. So you can grab free photos that are copyright free here. Please do not use photos from a listing that wasn't yours, that you don't own the copyright to, or just grab random photos off the internet. That is not, that's not allowed. It's illegal and you can get in trouble for that. And what I mean by in trouble is, we have seen some lawsuits come out of people using photos without having the copyright. So be careful and use copyright-free photos. Your office may also have access to stock photos for your area that they can provide you with. Okay, so download App Hero text, easiest way to find your new home, download my app. So this text may show up in some places on your website on a pre-created landing page. So you want that button to populate with this text to download your app. Virtual tours. To add a virtual tour, select one of your active listings. So I don't have any active listings, but if you did have an active listing, you could connect a virtual tour to it through KW. The MLS not all the MLSs let you add virtual tours. If you add it here, it will then be displayed on KW.com and the KW app and your agent site when someone comes across that property that's yours. And preferences, it doesn't look like there's anything here, but there's this downward arrow on the right. You want to click that to expand. You can control whether you like Keller Mortgage info to display on your app and site. Some people don't like to have other solicitations on their site, so you can enable or disable that showing. And same with Keller Covered, enable or disable. Also displaying neighborhoods. So sometimes when you're using the app or your agent website, you might notice that when you kind of zoom in on areas, it shows the neighborhood boundaries and the neighborhood names. Sometimes when you're looking at properties, it can kind of get in the way of the navigation. Like if I'm trying to click a property and the neighborhood boundary keeps kind of showing up and I'm not trying to do that. So it's more for the user, but I disabled it because on the app, I just found it kind of making it difficult to use the map view and click on certain properties. It would click on the neighborhood instead. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, get on the consumer app and test it out. You'll see what I mean, and you can decide whether you want to enable or disable neighborhoods showing up. Then you can save changes on all the changes you made on this page here. And one thing I want to mention is people with their preference on displaying Keller Mortgage or Keller Covered, I do like to display those. I think that Keller Mortgage can offer really great rates and can save your buyers thousands of dollars. So I do want to put that out there as an option to anyone on my site or app, and Keller Covered as well. So I just think they offer good rates. So, and then at the top, I'm going to move on to URLs. If you were
Before you move on, hey, Danny, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
First of all, the photos, can you acquire the photos with full resolution, or are they always going to be slightly opaque or grayed out a little bit?
So that's just the nature of this page, and it's because this is overlaying it. So is that what you mean? Like it's kind of putting a filter over them?
Right.
Yeah. So it's just doing that automatically.
Okay. So we can't adjust that.
No.
Okay. And then second question, if I may, where do the neighborhood pages, it shows up as a separate page, right? As does the other one. They show up as completely separate pages, right? Or are they embedded in an existing page?
So what I'm referring to with the neighborhoods at the bottom,
yeah,
they're not embedded in a page. I'm referring to when you're actually searching for homes. When you are searching and see how it's showing this neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like that showing up versus it just being an area I draw or an area within the map view.
Okay, I see. And then what about the mortgage? Is that a separate page?
Yeah, so mortgage info will show up on, like when I'm visiting a property page, there is usually some info, Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered.
I see.
That's a great question. Yeah, so that's how it's displayed. And it will show up in some other places as well, but this is just where I know is the most common to see it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And then, so then I believe this neighborhood info, this will still show up, I think. I believe that feature is just to hide it for the usability when you're using the map view. Because again, when I'm using the app and clicking with my thumb on a smaller screen, it's sometimes accidentally selecting like to only show me properties in this neighborhood instead of the area I drew or the area shown on my screen. So it just created some usability issues on mobile. So that's why they gave us the option to hide the neighborhoods. And again, kind of hard for me to show you on here because the issue really occurs on the app. Okay, I'm going to go to URLs now. And this is where you can find your subdomain for your website. So you see mine's daniellekyle.kw.com. If you want to change your subdomain, you can do that here, so long as you check the subdomain here and it is available. Keep in mind, if you change that subdomain and you have already put that on other marketing materials that are out there and floating around, you probably don't want to change it at this point. So mine's on my business card, it's in my signature, it's in a lot of places. I'm not going to be changing it now. Your app URL. So this can't be changed. This is your unique app URL that you can share with contacts, with buyers that you're looking with to help them buy a home. And this, when they download the app from your link and they create their account, it'll be branded to you already as the agent. So that is why it's not just app.kw.com. It's followed by these unique letters and numbers. That's what allows it to stick to you. And then we have featured listings. So this is where I can manually select listings to show up on my agent site or app. On the app, it shows up under collections as featured. On your website, it's going to show up. I renamed it top listings, and here are the 2 listings that are still active. So these other listings, there one other listing that's on here and did not show up on my site is no longer active. You can have up to 12. And this is how you select them. You click select, You can search by property address, MLS number, city, zip code, and then you want to show probably all listings. And then you can select additional ones and then save. And then here's where you change that text that shows up above them. Top listings. I did kind of some high price points there, so I put top listings. You can name it featured listings. If you have enough of your own listings to put in this section or any of your own listings, you could put my listings, but you do have to change this out manually. And then you'll go to save changes at the bottom and you'll see those changes reflected here. Or again, on the app, when someone's logged into your consumer app, they'll see these listings under collections. And then we have theme. So this offers you either the red theme or the KW dark theme. Now, I haven't really noticed a big difference between selecting either or. I think it just changes out a logo somewhere. But the page is pretty much going to look similar for everybody, and no matter which one of these you choose. So it says dark theme color will apply on the KW logo, links, buttons, and labels. However, you can see I have the red theme selected and my buttons and things are actually dark. So yeah. And then we have agent site pages. So once you have created an agent site page, it's automatically going to redirect you to this section to then add it to your navigation menu. You select the page you just created, click continue, and then you can add the page title, the slug, which is the URL extension, and an SEO description. And whatever you put here in SEO description, I just recommend using the page title in that SEO description. And then you can, I'm going to just go ahead and close that and discard since I don't want to add that page. You can reorder the options in your page drop-down menu here. So that's where I can put those in a different order than they currently are. So I would probably do like leave me a review at the bottom, this more close to the top, my team. There we go. And then save. And let's see if that worked. Yep. So there you have it. So those are the site and app settings. There's one other thing I wanted to let you guys know about, which is these guide builders right here. So I don't really go over these in any other tutorials, so I wanted to mention them here. We have these great buyers and seller guides that you can customize that will be accessible on your website and on your app for any users that have created an account. So again, the user has to have created an account. So I am logged in as a buyer. So this is my tester account that I have created. And then I can access those guides. When I'm signed out, that's not an option for me. So, and the reason is because it's actually going to track, people can check off, you know, different steps in the process with you, like start your search. I did mark that as completed. And the next step, get pre-approved. I marked that as completed. And tour home, same. And then I'm on make an offer and I can mark that step as completed and move on. And I can access for both like the buyers and the seller guides over here, buying and selling. And this is in Command, this area is where you can customize these. So you're going to click this meatball menu on the right, and then you can edit guide. So the first step under the buyer guide is start your search. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And on the right, here's where I can replace that image, change the title to that step, change the subtitle, and here's the actual expanded text that will show up. And you just click in the text box and you can edit. And it knows I haven't made any changes yet, but if I did, it would let me then save. And you can also reorder these. And you can add steps. And that's how it works for both. All right, so I know we got that a little more quickly than I even said we would. So I'm gonna open it up to questions.
Jenny, you said you can add a page. Where's the template to do that?
What do you mean? What kind
Sorry,
of?
in the guide, you can add a page.
Yeah, so, and again, you're not adding a page, you're just adding a step to the guide. And that's the very last option at the bottom.
Oh, I see, right, okay, yeah.
You can add that step and you can reorder it.
All right, I see it. I didn't see that before.
Drag it around. Okay. Yeah. Great question. Who else has questions? Anybody? Or do you have more questions, Peter?
You know I do, but I'll save them until cocktail hour tonight.
Oh, great.
3 o'clock, the happy hour.
We love that. Okay, everybody. Well, I won't keep you on longer. If you have any questions, I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes. Feel free to ask away. But yeah, I'm going to give you some time back in your day. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you learned a little bit about how you can change some things on your site and app today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All right, everybody, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. See you guys.